So you'll give me the thumbs up when we're live.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Committee of Adjustment meeting for Friday, October the 23rd. The meeting is a public meeting to consider development proposals that don't comply with the provisions of our comprehensive zoning bylaw. Our planner, Sean O'Callaghan, will provide a brief overview of each application, after which our applicants or their agent will have an opportunity to address the committee. Following this, anyone who wishes to speak to the application, either for or against, will be given an opportunity to do so. The committee will then discuss the proposal and be given an opportunity to ask questions regarding each application. The committee will then vote to grant, refuse, or defer the proposal. I'll introduce our committee. I'm Liz Danielson, the chair. We have Chris Woods, public member, Julie Shortreed, member of council, John Rogers, public member, and Gary Trapp, public member. We also have on the line David Rogers, our chief building official, and Sean O'Callaghan, who is our official planner. So we'll call the meeting to order, and I'll ask if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. Hearing none, could I have a mover and a seconder to approve the minutes from September the 25th? Moved by Chris Woods, seconded by Julie Shortreed. Thank you. If you could read the resolution, please.
Moved by Chris Woods, second by Julia Shortreed. Be it resolved, the Committee of Adjustment hereby approves as circulated the meeting minutes of September 25th, 2020. John Rogers, yea or nay?
Yay.
Julia Shortreed, yea or nay?
Yay.
Gary Trapp, yea or nay?
Yay.
Chris Woods, yea or nay?
Yay.
Liz Danielson, yea or nay?
Yay.
That's carried.
So we have no business arising from the minutes. So we'll move right into new business. And the first application is McGlade on Wolf Circle on Kawagama Lake. So Mr. O'Callaghan, if you could give us your report, please.
Yes, this property is located at 1295 Wolf Circle. The lands are zoned shoreline residential 2 and designated waterfront in the official plan. The property is approximately 0.81 acres in area with 46 meters of frontage on Kawagama Lake. Surrounding uses are generally shoreline residential, and the lands are currently developed with a dwelling, 2 sheds, and a dock. The owner is proposing to demolish the existing dock and 1 shed located near the water and construct a 469.1 square foot boat port plus a 153.9 square foot utility shed. The existing dock currently projects into the water approximately 13 meters from the shore, and the proposed boat port will project 12.19 meters from the shore. The water levels in front of the subject lands are quite shallow. The requested projection of the boat port will allow for the safe docking of a vessel with adequate water depth. There does appear to be sufficient space to construct a utility shed on shore that would meet the necessary setback requirements from the high water mark and side lot lines. There is also limited justification in support of the proposed maximum floor area increase of a utility shed near the shoreline. The following minor variances are being requested. 1, from section 4.2.9F of the zoning bylaw to permit an increase in the maximum projection of a boat port into the water from 8 meters to 12.19 meters for the purpose of constructing a 469.1 square foot boat port. Minor variance number 2 would be from section 4.2.9G of the zoning bylaw to permit a reduction in the required setback from the high water mark from 4.5 meters to 0 meters for the purpose of constructing a 153.9 square foot utility shed. And thirdly, from section 4.2.9G of the zoning bylaw to permit an increase in the maximum floor area of a utility shed from 10 square meters to 14.29 square meters. Notice of the application was posted on the property, posted on the township website, circulated to property owners within 60 meters of the subject lands, as well as to the Quagmire Lake Property Owners Association. No objections have been received. Staff are recommending approval of proposed minor variance number 1, which would be to permit the extended projection of the boat port. Staff, however, are recommending refusal of the proposed minor variance number 2 and 3, which would apply to the proposed shed for the following reasons. 1, the variance is not minor in nature. It is not desirable for the appropriate development or use of the land, building, or structure. The general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw is not maintained. The general intent and purpose of the official plan is not maintained. The shed can be constructed in a location that would comply with the zoning bylaw. And finally, there is no justification for the proposed increase in size of a shed located within the shoreline portion of the property.
Is there a representative of the applicant here who wishes to speak to the application? If so, could you identify yourself, please, and you can speak to the application now.
Yes, hi, it's Dan Christian here. I'm the agent for the McGlades. Yes, and yes, thank you for hearing this. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're open to the extending it out further, because there's a lot of lots on Quagmire Lake that have the issue with the variable shoreline going up and down. With regards to the shed, it's a bit of a steep property, and as people get older, it's harder to climb up the hill to put things in storage. So it would be great to be able to put storage on the dock. If it's a size thing, we could. I don't see why we couldn't reduce the size of it to get it to the 100 square feet. I just picked 8 feet because it's easy to get into the side that way, but I could reconfigure it so that maybe the doors are accessed from the front, and then it could be a shallower depth and get it to the 108 square feet. I don't know if you'd be open to that. And other than that, I'm here to answer any other questions.
Are there questions from committee members? Julie?
For Sean, though, is it possible to approve with the reduction in the size of the shed?
That would eliminate the requirement for one of the variances being requested, but there would still be the issue of the setback from the water, which would still be 0 meters, because it is actually on top of the proposed boat port, or underneath the roof of the proposed boat port, but it's in the water. So I would still have a concern with the setback from the water, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would have a concern with that as well. If there aren't other questions, or while you're thinking about the application, I would like to ask Dan if it appears that the new boat port is going to be, I guess, west of the existing dock. And it would look to me like there's a considerable number of trees that would have to come out. Would there be any way that this could be done and built in the same location as the existing dock? I'm very concerned about the shoreline and the slumping, and it looks to me like there would be some significant trees coming out if it goes in the location that's been identified on our sketch.
Yeah, I think the only clearing would be for the path going straight down. And then they'd be removing the other path that kind of crosses the property. So there would probably be less ground being disturbed at that point. So rather than going across the property, be straight down with a set of stairs, or probably stone steps, I would say. Maybe even a path, maybe just a path, wooden steps. Yeah, so there'd probably be less trees taken out because the boathouse is on the water, so they're not gonna be removing trees there.
But it appears that you would have to remove trees in order to get to the structure.
I would say just where the path is in the bridge. So I guess it would be maybe 10 or 12 feet. Yeah, I mean, I can bring that up with the client.
Are there other comments or concerns by the committee? Mr. Trapp?
Yeah, Madam Chair, yeah, I shared that concern when I looked at the property, just in terms of the trees. It was a little unclear from the site plan, exactly the alignment, to me anyways, of the boat port with the house. So it looked like there would have to be quite a few trees removed for the stairs down to the boat port, but yeah, maybe just some clarification on the exact location. If it's closer to the existing dock, then yeah, there's only a few small trees. If it's closer to the opposite side of the property, it looks like quite a few trees have to be removed, and it is quite steep there. That was one concern. Madam Chair, this is probably for Sean. Sean has laid out a lot of the requirements for size and distances for the boat port. And it's quite detailed. I didn't notice though, is there a square footage limitation on the boat port? Or is that captured by virtue of all the other distances and dimensions, the heights, the slopes, and so on?
So the zoning bylaw restricts a boat port or boathouse to no more than 18 feet in width and 26 feet projection from the shoreline. And as well, there'd be the 5% lot coverage restriction for all accessory buildings.
Okay, so that this proposal meets all of those things then?
That's correct.
Okay. As far as the projection into the water, I went out onto the dock. The current dock, I think, if I understand, is 13 meters, which is about 43 feet. So the proposal is not suggesting any further into the water than the existing dock, even though it's further than what's permitted by legislation. So the depth of the water looked to be about 5 feet at the end of the dock now. I didn't take a measure at 26 feet, but it seems reasonable to me from what I saw that going out the 40 feet is reasonable to get the boat and the port and all the depths of the water to work. So that part seemed fairly reasonable to me. So.
Any other questions or comments from committee members? I've got to say,
Madam Chair, sorry, my apologies. I was having trouble unmuting. Sean, this is really a question. The storage shed or whatever they're talking about here is below the deck that's flat. Am I correct in that understanding?
Yes, that is correct.
And how many square feet is the proposed shed now? Storage?
The proposed shed is 153.9 square feet.
So with his, I'm saying the representative's suggestion of reducing it to 100, that is only to appease the bylaw that says it can't be more than 100? Is that the reason?
Yes, that is correct.
And the only objection that you have is that it's on the water as opposed to being on the shore.
That would be if the shed was reduced to the 108 square feet. It would no longer require that variance to increase the square footage, but it would still need a minor variance for the setback from the water, which would be reduced from 4.5 to 0 meters.
So my question is to the representative then, what is the shed being used for? Is it being used to store boat equipment and life jackets and rope and whatever?
Yeah, yes, it's for shoreline storage of stuff.
So if this whole dock and port and everything is sticking out into the water, I have absolutely no problem with a shed for storage of stuff that's already going to be on this dock and on this port that's quite large. I do share Liz's concern and Gary's concern about the tree, particularly that's on the property going down to the port. Looks like quite a sizable tree that has to be removed. And to Gary's point, you know, can we avoid having that tree taken down, which is quite large? And then I would say I don't have as much of a problem, but I do have a problem with that tree coming down.
Okay, so it might be just a matter of moving the boat port over a bit to get it away from that tree. If you're saying that tree is where it's in the middle of like the bridge.
It looks
Actually,
like
there are a number of trees there that that don't meet the tree preservation bylaw. So that's my biggest concern. And I wouldn't be concerned if the storage shed was actually formed part of the structure as opposed to being a separate shed that's on the ground or technically in the water. I really have a problem with placing a structure with a 0 setback from the high water mark. That's just totally against the direction that the municipality is trying to go in. And I struggle with that because I recognize when I look across the way or down the shoreline that there are other structures almost the same as what you're proposing to build, but that doesn't make it right in my mind.
Yeah, the shed would be underneath the roof or underneath the rooftop deck. So it's almost like a small boat. I mean, it could be a boathouse that would be, you know, 30 feet long or 26 feet long, as opposed to just a shed that's 5 feet long.
You got any further comment about that?
No, I mean, I outlined the reasons why I don't support the reduced setback for a shed, but I mean, it's certainly for the committee to decide on.
Are there more questions about the application?
what would be, this is to the representative, if the shed was not there, what would you do for storage of boat equipment, life jackets, etc.? Where would you place it?
I guess either they'd have to build another shed on shore, probably that, and I guess they could also put a wall, but then they'd be just hanging stuff exposed, you know, which people could come and steal if they just had a wall at the back of the boat port and then hang stuff on. I guess the other option is to build a boathouse, but I don't think they were wanting to build a boathouse. Would be to enclose, you know, the entire boat slip, and then it would be a boathouse, and that would be okay, right?
And that would require an entirely new application.
Oh, yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, well, I would ask for a mover and a seconder to have the resolution read, and we can vote and see how we make out.
I will move it.
I would still like to see an effort made to move the entire structure as far east as you can to reduce any removal of trees.
Okay, yeah, because I don't think they want to remove trees. It's just, you know, probably just not having the trees on the site plan, you miss out on that stuff. But yeah, we can move it over so that it's not, I don't think they want to cut down a big tree, so.
Would the committee be in agreement with us adding that as a condition?
I'm okay with that.
Go ahead, Rogers.
Madam Chair, I'm wondering whether it might be wiser to defer this application to allow Mr. Christian to bring back a site plan that shows the trees and what trees are going to be removed and not removed from the site, and just show us a new new location. I presume it's, and I'm not sure if this was a planned construction project for this year or whether it's something that'll be done in the spring for next year. So, I don't think there's any real problem with doing a deferral, although I'm quite prepared to hear from Mr. Christian as to whether that would create a problem.
Yeah, I know they'll want to do the dock this winter, because I know the dock builders like to get on the ice and drive the piles, but if it's another month, that's not going to put that behind. So
that would give you an opportunity to speak to your clients and see what possibilities there are for this to go ahead.
Okay.
Is everyone in agreement?
Added into that, I would suggest the reduction in the storage to less than the 100.
Yep, I can do that.
Well, that's assuming that it, at present, the resolution is suggesting that the storage shed not be allowed, aside from its size.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'd be prepared to move for a deferral of the application to the next meeting of the committee.
We need a resolution for that. We have a mover and a seconder for deferral. Moved by Julie Shortreed, moved by John Rogers, seconded by Julie Shortreed.
Moved by John Rogers, seconded by Julia Shortreed. Be it resolved, the Committee of Adjustment hereby defers application AHMB 02220 pending further information regarding tree removal. John Rogers, yea or nay?
If you could say tree removal and location of the structure.
Location of the Beaufort structure.
Yes.
I'll read this again. Moved by John Rogers, seconded by Julia Shortreed. Be it resolved, the Committee of Adjustment hereby defers application AHMB 2220 pending further information regarding tree removal and location of the Beaufort structure. John Rogers, yea or nay?
Yay.
Julia Shortreed, yea or nay?
Yay.
Gary Trapp, yea or nay?
Yay.
Chris Woods, yea or nay?
Yay.
And Liz Danielson, yea or nay?
Yay.
That motion's carried.
Thanks, Mr. Christian. We'll talk to you next month.
Okay, thank you very much.
The next application is by Belf on Poplar Heights, Couchog Lake.
This property is located at 1060 Poplar Heights Drive. The lands are zoned shoreline residential 2 and designated waterfront in the official plan. The property is approximately 0.54 acres in area with 29.8 meters of frontage on Couchog Lake. Surrounding uses are generally shoreline residential, and the lands are currently developed with a dwelling, a shed, a trailer, and a dock. The owner is proposing to construct a 256 square foot addition on the side of the existing dwelling. The existing dwelling is currently set back 11.43 meters from the high water mark, and the proposed addition will be also 11.43 meters from the high water mark. The proposed addition will be located on the easterly side of the existing dwelling. This addition will not project beyond the front face of the existing dwelling. However, the lands are limited in available building locations that would conform to the zoning requirements due to topographical constraints. Staff are recommending a condition to be included, should the application be approved, that the trailer and attached structures to the trailer be removed from the lands prior to a building permit being issued. The following minor variance is being requested, and that is from section 4.10.52 of the zoning bylaw to permit a reduction in the required setback from the high water mark from 15 meters to 11.43 meters for the purpose of constructing a 256 square foot addition to an existing dwelling. Notice the application was posted on the property, posted on the township website, and circulated to property owners within 60 meters of the subject lands. No objections have been received, and staff are recommending granting of the proposed minor variance conditional on the following. One, confirmation be provided from an Ontario land surveyor that the proposed addition is not located closer than 11.43 meters from the high water mark prior to any clearing or site alteration or the issuance of a building permit. Two, the trailer and attached structures to the trailer be removed from the subject lands prior to the issuance of a building permit. That any on-site sewage system permits and reviews required by the township have been obtained and approved prior to the issuance of a building permit. And four, that appropriate construction mitigation measures be implemented, which shall include the erection and maintenance of silt fencing between the proposed building and the shoreline.
Is there someone present who wishes to speak to the application? If you could identify yourself and go ahead and speak to the application. Hello, is there someone who wishes to speak to the application?
Hello,
Could you
Can you hear
identify
me?
yourself? Yes, could you identify yourself, please?
I am Penny Belf.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you, would you like to speak to the application?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I am Penny Belf, and my daughter-in-law Jacqueline Belf is here with me. We're the owners of 1060 Poplar Heights. This property has been in our family for over 50 years, and we're asking for approval to put a small addition off of the kitchen, 256 square feet, to make the kitchen bigger for an eating area. This does not entail additional plumbing and will be put on the existing concrete pad. Thanks for looking at our application, and we look forward to a favorable decision, and we're happy to answer any questions.
And you understand that one of the conditions is the removal of the trailer?
I do, which we are not in agreement with, but
I
we'll have to.
suspect you might not be happy about that, but it's, there's a rationale behind it. Do any of the committee members have any questions about the application?
Madam Chair, the removal of the trailer, how large is the trailer?
It's 8 by 38.
Just how many square feet? 8 by 38
It's
is,
approximately 300, well, the trailer's about 300 square feet, 310 square feet.
and Sean, are you suggesting the trailer be removed from the property totally or moved?
Removed from the property, as
And-
well as
Which leaves us with only 300 square feet of living space. The present cabin down below is only, the cabin is 365 square feet.
And when was that trailer put in?
50 years ago, more than 50 years ago, actually.
And Sean, what is the rationale for removing the trailer as part of this application as opposed to and I assume the addition is going to take down a portion of that cabin that sticks out?
It's not going to take any, we just take the end wall off and add a 16 by 16 room.
Am I correct though that there looks like an entrance and a
Yeah.
small looks like an area, I don't want to call it a mud room, but a room there. Is that structure going to be removed?
No,
Half
No,
of that structure?
we're adding on to that, so that where that door is into there,
Yeah.
that wall would be removed and extended out 16 feet.
And that height?
Provide the rationale.
Yes.
Okay. Sean, what is the rationale for removing the trailer?
yes, so the trailer would be considered a legal non-compliant structure. So when it was established, it was likely predating any zoning bylaws. So there's no issue with it being there as it is, but It does not comply with the current bylaw requirements for the township, where a trailer is only permitted to be used in a property that's zoned for a trailer park. So any further additions or development on this lot, which requires planning approval, it would be appropriate to bring the property more into compliance where possible. So by removing this trailer, which could be considered a second dwelling on the property as well, which is not permitted in today's bylaw. So that's my reason for including that as a condition.
So if I hear you correctly, then if they don't do this addition, everything stays the same and that would be fine.
That is correct.
So to the applicant, this is for convenience of enlarging your kitchen?
Yes, we can. We have like a little 2-seater kitchen table in that. You can see how small it is. As you called it, the mudroom. That's our kitchen eating area. So we just want to extend it. I have 2 grandchildren and we're extended family, and there's very little room.
Yeah, I
So we
totally
just want-
understand. I understand that, but understanding the fact that what Sean O'Callahan has just pointed out, that by going for this application and this variance, you will have to remove that trailer. And is the sacrifice of removing the trailer worse than the benefit of having a larger kitchen?
Yes, far worse.
Yeah.
Far worse.
What's that?
One of the issues is that the trailer also has kitchen facilities and I'm assuming washroom facilities as well. It's
Now, if we were to remove the kitchen and the bathroom facilities and just use it as sleeping quarters, is it permitted then or no?
It would still be considered a trailer as far as the zoning bylaw is concerned, and it would still be something I would recommend be removed as a condition.
But meanwhile, we can take that down and then reconstruct a 485 square foot cabin.
Yes,
Is that correct?
sleeping cabin is permitted, yes.
I'm a little confused, Sean. What does that mean? I mean, if they remove the trailer and put up a new structure, is that what you're saying?
If the trailer was removed, they could construct a 485 square foot sleeping cabin.
And how many square feet is this trailer?
I believe they said it was around 340-ish.
Yeah, I've got 304, but whatever. Yeah.
And is the trailer, if it's got water, et cetera, if they built a shed or built another structure, could they have a kitchen and water and everything else in that new structure?
A sleeping cabin can have plumbing, but it cannot have any cooking or kitchen facilities in it.
Okay.
Mr. Rogers, do you have any further comments that you'd like to make about this application?
I'm
No, I'm sorry,
following.
I meant our chief building official.
Sorry.
Through you, Madam Chair, I have the same concerns as Sean. Our current zoning bylaw does not permit trailers on properties. Again, I'm not sure it was even considered when the trailer was put on there, if it's actually part of the existing septic system. So I don't even know if the septic system currently would be designed for the capacities that's what's on the property. So I have the same concerns regarding the trailer. From my end, it does need to be removed.
Are there other questions that the committee has?
I'm still having, sorry, Madam Chair, I'm still having, trying to understand, is it the fact that it's a trailer, or is it the fact that it's got a kitchen and water and plumbing and that?
Both. It's my understanding that the concern is both.
But if it's been there 50 years, let's be real here. If it's been there 50 years, that trailer, surely if the bylaws have changed, then you know, I kind of sympathize with the owner. On the other hand, I totally understand what you're saying, that if you removed it and you could put up a different building that didn't have water and running water, et cetera, if they remove the water, et cetera, if that was the issue, you know, I'm having trouble understanding why the trailer's the issue.
So they're seeking further relief from the zoning bylaw on a property that's already considered legal non-complying. So if the trailer was permitted to remain, it would add to the legal non-complying status of the property. Whereas if the minor variance is approved, they can build an addition closer to the water, but the property would be brought further into compliance with the removal of the trailer, which does not meet today's zoning bylaw.
That I understand, and that I kind of agree with. You know, I sympathize with the owner saying they want to increase their kitchen, but I also would suggest to the owner that that building an addition that forces you to remove the trailer, unless you want to remove the trailer, you may want to consider not building that addition.
Well,
That's not our call to make, Mr. Woods. Sorry.
That's what I'm suggesting.
and that's likely what we'll be forced to do. The unfortunate part is that we don't have the kind of money to build something else on top and increase the size. So our hands are tied for the next however many years, and we're stuck just with what we have, unfortunately, and are forced to either minimize what we have just to make what little we do have a little bit bigger. It's just unfortunate. It's very sad day for us.
Are there other questions from the committee? Could I have a mover and a seconder for us to hear the resolution? Julie Shortreed, seconded by John Rogers. If you could read the resolution and we'll have a vote.
Moved by Julia Shortreed, seconded by John Rogers. Be it resolved, the Committee of Adjustment hereby grants minor variance application AHMV 2320 to seek relief from section 4.10.52 of the zoning bylaw to permit a reduction in the required setback from the high water mark from 15 meters to 11.43 meters for the purpose of constructing a 256 square foot addition, subject to the following conditions. 1, confirmation be provided from an Ontario land surveyor that the proposed addition is not located closer than 11.43 meters from the high water mark prior to any clearing or site alteration or the issuance of a building permit. 2, the trailer and attached structures to the trailer be removed from the subject lands prior to the issuance of a building permit. 3, that any on-site sewage system permits and reviews required by the township have been obtained and approved prior to the issuance of a building permit. And 4, that appropriate construction mitigation measures be implemented, which shall include the erection and maintenance of silt fencing between the proposed building and the shoreline. John Rogers, yea or nay?
Yay.
Julia Shortreed, yea or nay?
Yay.
Gary Trapp, yea or nay?
Yay.
Chris Woods, yea or nay?
Yay.
Liz Danielson, yea or nay?
Yay.
That motion's carried.
So just a reminder, Mrs. Bell, that if you wish to proceed with construction, there is a 20-day waiting appeal period before construction can commence.
Okay.
That conducts our business for today. I wonder if it's possible for us to set a date for our next meeting.
I was going to suggest December 11th, because we won't be having a meeting obviously at the end of December. So that kind of goes halfway between, it would be 2 weeks after our normal meeting date for November. And that would give me time to get notices and reports together.
Okay.
for that meeting, if that works for everyone.
Does December the 11th work for the committee?
That's in place of.
Works for me.
Works for me.
Okay, that's in place of when we would normally meet on the 27th. That kind of gives us a little bit of a midpoint between now and the beginning of the year. Okay, then December the 11th it is
And it would be back at our regular time of 1 PM with that.
at 1 PM.
Just for clarification, Sean, on what we just voted on, it is now in the hands of the owner. I don't know if she's still on the line, but it's in the hands of the owner to decide now whether they want to follow through with their application or not.
That is correct.
So if they don't build, everything stays the same.
That's correct.
Okay.
Could I have a mover and a seconder for a motion to adjourn?
I will move.
Thank you. Seconder, Julie?
Moved by Chris Woods, seconded by Julia Shortreed, be it resolved, the Committee of Adjustment hereby adjourns its regular meeting at 9:42 a.m. John Rogers, yea or nay?
Yay.
Julia Shortreed, yea or nay?
Yay.
Gary Trapp, yea or nay?
Yay.
Chris Woods, yea or nay?
Yay.
Liz Danielson, yea or nay?
Yeah.
That motion's carried.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.